See all of you here today. We're here today to talk about the transition. No, that was last week. We're here today to talk about graduation. Really? That was it? That's all the excitement you have at this point after how many years? 4 years, 3 years, 2 years, 5 years, 4? Who knows how many days are left? 73. Hey, there we go. There's always someone who knows, at least one. Well, welcome everyone today. I'm glad to see all of you here today to learn a little more about graduation, about all the events coming up around commencement, to be able to share all this information with you. We're very excited to be able to celebrate with you, and I'm happy to be the first one to be able to get up here and say congratulations. So just a few things. So I've emailed out to all of you information about the upcoming dates and deadlines. This is also available on my g-ets. There is a graduation page on my g-ets. If you log into my g-ets, go to the student page. One of the options now says graduation, and there's all this information there. So information about caps and gowns, about parking, about childcare. So all the stuff you're going to hear about today, we're going to have that up here for you as well. So right now we have up here, these are all the upcoming deadlines, important dates, things you need to remember, information about commencement. So here we are. It's Thursday. It's Thursday and we're here. So a couple of housekeeping things just to let you know, a couple of reminders. For those of you that would like to participate in commencement, everything has to be done the Monday before commencement. So Monday, May 8th by noon, all requirements, all your holds, all of your grades, everything has to be in by that day if you want to be able to participate in commencement. So just want to make sure that everybody is aware of that and has that information, because I don't want anybody to get kind of tripped up as we get closer to the end of the term. You know, if there's something that's going to wind up going past that date, sadly we'll have to, you wouldn't be able to walk in commencement. However, that being said, as long as everything is done by the end of May, you can still have your diploma and be considered graduated for this year. So for those of you that might be coming down to the wire and hoping that you're going to be able to get everything done by the 8th, you can still graduate even though you might not be able to participate in commencement. So I wanted to be very clear about those two differences in date for you, just to try and avoid any confusion that we might have later on. So now that I have offered my congratulations and my welcome to you, President Laleen Rector would like to offer a few words to you. So I'd like to welcome her up.
Thank you, Dennis. Let me also say congratulations. And just to tell you what I tell the graduating class every year, and I probably say this to the orientation every year too, which is to say that I have two favorite days at Garrett Evangelical. The first is the first day of student orientation, and the next is commencement. And not because we want to see you go, we're always sad to see you go in some ways, for sure. But I have to tell you, you are the reason why we're here. No students, no Garrett Evangelical. Eliza Garrett would not be very happy with us. And I think if she could see this room right now, she would be, I like to think she'd be up dancing on her grave about what has happened at Garrett Evangelical in 163 years. Women are here, we have great racial ethnic diversity, we have a view of theological perspectives, and we became a theological seminary that hasn't forgotten the Bible. At that time, I won't derail here too much, she was very concerned about the fact that the school should be called a biblical institute and not a school of theology, for worry that we would step away from the good news of the gospel. So part of the reason why I'm very excited about your graduation is that you go out into the world to make a difference on the front line. And we have a little tiny piece of what you're going to be doing out there, but it is so gratifying to us here at the seminary to think about all that you will be doing and the many places you'll be working. You know, just look at that Aware magazine and read about our alumni and what they're doing out there. And you're about to be part of that. And so very excited about that. I want to just tell you a few things. You don't really have to remember any of this because it's available to you in other places. And the first is that we have a President's Luncheon for graduates, and that will be on Wednesday, May 10th, 2 days before the commencement ceremony. It will be at Alice Millar and the Parks Hall room. And it's a luncheon just for the graduates, and we want to congratulate you. And one of the things we do there is that we have each of you stand up and tell us where you're headed next. So you might want to think about it. Some people don't know where they're headed next, and that's okay if you don't. But we do like to hear if you have an appointment in the works for a church position, if you're going to an agency, if you're doing another degree, if you don't know what comes next. So we'll do that. We try to take note of that so we have some sense of what you will be about. And the other thing that I want to say to you is to tell you, and I understand this is in the newsletter this week. It's also on the website in a couple of places under About Us and also in latest news. Our commencement speaker will be Dr. James Hildreth, who is the president of the Meharry Medical School and College of Dentistry in Nashville. And what you should know about this school is that it's one of our United Methodist affiliated schools. It is the only Black medical school in the U.S., and it is headed by Dr. Hildreth, whom I heard speak last fall. I was so moved by what I heard from him that I invited him immediately, came back. In fact, I spoke to him that day before we left in a crowd of people. I said, "You're not going to remember this, but here's my card, here's the date written on the back, and our office is going to be in touch with your office." He is, I hope you will talk about his personal journey. He is from Arkansas, and he was the first African-American student in Arkansas to get a Rhodes Scholarship to Oxford when he finished his undergraduate degree. He got into Johns Hopkins Medical School. He is an expert in AIDS research and has published many papers, is on the board at Harvard Medical. He's a very impressive man, but here's the thing that really moved me. He's a very humble, quiet-spoken man. And his father died when he was a boy of maybe 11 or 12, 9, 10, 11 or 12. He became very angry about his father's death and didn't speak, he will say, for about 3 months. And part of his anger was what was said at the funeral about his father's death and the way in which it was sort of glossed over in a very poor theological manner. And he discovered that his father had died of an illness that he would not have died from had he had the appropriate medical attention, which was not available to him as a Black man in Arkansas during those days. And so he went to the library and he read everything he could read about science and biology, determined that he wanted to become a physician, figured out which undergraduate school would guarantee him getting into a medical school. That was Harvard. He got into Harvard, then he went to Oxford, then he went to Johns Hopkins. It's history since then. But it's really an amazing thing that his life is dedicated to righting that injustice. So we're thrilled that he's coming. He's going to be receiving an honorary doctorate of humane letters from us. And he's thrilled that he's coming. He's so excited. He's bringing a lot of family members. So I love this, that he's excited. And I hope you'll enjoy hearing from him on commencement. So I'm going to turn this over to Erin Moore now, who has some volunteer opportunities for you at commencement. You're not done until you're done here.
Hi, everybody. Congratulations again. We're very excited to be a part of your special day that day. And of course, want to provide opportunities to those of you who have opportunity during a public service, which I imagine many of you would be okay with that, given your profession, to make that possible. So I've actually given a form to Shane and also one to Liz It's basically a sign-up form for those of you who might be interested in volunteering for a speaking role. Those of you who are listening online, Vince is going to be sending out an email, I think either later today or tomorrow, and it will include a link to an online volunteer sign-up form that you can complete, and those will also be included. So what you should know is that there's about 7 roles in the service. We do ask everybody who's interested in a role to go ahead and sign up. If you're somebody who likes to read something that's already written, then you're going to want to sign up for the collect or the litany. If you're somebody who wants to write something, then you're going to want to sign up for the invocation or the benediction. And basically what we do is when we choose the volunteers, we make sure that we choose volunteers that are reflective of all of our degree programs and also a good reflection of our racial ethnic diversity. And we notify those volunteers. We try to do it as soon as possible. So usually end of March, worst case scenario, early April. But then if you aren't selected, we go ahead and we provide those names to Tercio, the Dean of Chapel, because then we like to try to ensure those that don't have a speaking role in commencement have the opportunity to have a speaking role in the senior chapel. So basically between the 2 services, we want to have as many people who are interested in having speaking roles have an opportunity to have a speaking role. So again, if you, those sheets are going around, please feel free to sign up and someone will collect those at the end of this. And for those of you online, there'll be a link coming. Thank you.
Thank you so much, President Rector and Aaron. I appreciate what you've had to share with us today. So when it comes to graduation itself, there are lots of questions that wind up coming up. Since we don't have the commencement service here, we have it at First United Methodist here in Evanston. There's always questions about parking and childcare. So here to hopefully help answer those questions is Katie Fahey, our Director of Residential Ministries.
Thanks. Congratulations again. I've been here recently and I can tell you it is one of the greatest days ever. So I'm really excited for all of you and I've really enjoyed watching all of you come through this program. So I'm going to tell you a few things. You should know that there is lots of parking available for graduation. I'm going to just write it up on a little sheet and it's going to be online. I'm not going to bore you with all the details because you're going to forget them anyway. The thing I really want to tell you about is childcare. Childcare is available for graduation for children under the age of 5. Okay, so if you are interested in having childcare, you need to let us know so that we can make sure we have enough staff around. Okay, and the way you can do that is you can fill out this little form that I have. And I will have these down in my office rather than confuse you by having them somewhere around here that you have to search through the crowd to get to. So if you want to stop by my office after this meeting, get one of these forms and turn them back into me no later than April 15th, that would be great.
Thank you, Katie. In addition to graduation itself, there are other events going on commencement week. President Rector mentioned the luncheon that she hosts every year with the graduating students. In addition, there is a senior chapel service that takes place on Thursday night before commencement. And here to talk about that is Renee Smithback, the chapel office assistant, or the assistant to the dean of the chapel, or pretty much anything Tercio asks for.
Congratulations. It was a while ago that I was in your chairs, and I gotta say it was a great experience and very memorable to be sitting in those chairs waiting to be graduated. So congratulations. It's a countdown. Good luck on the last couple of weeks and months, because I know it's very stressful as well. The other thing I'd like to talk to you about is the senior chapel, which Vince mentioned is Thursday, May 11th at 7 p.m. And this is a worship service that is planned in entirety by a representative planning team of the senior class. So I need about 5 names. Sorry, just realized I'm not on video. Thank you, Krista. I need 5 people who are willing to serve on that planning committee, and from those 5 people, they are the ones who will then reach out to others in the community to be the preacher or preside or to be readers and things like that. So if you've never been to a chapel worship service, please join us for the first time before you graduate. If you have worshiped with us, please come and join us for your last worship service before you graduate. So if you could see me, if you're interested in being part of that planning team, I do need 5 people today because our first meeting will be before spring break. So thank you.
Thank you, Renee. Well, in order to help make sure all of you get out of here in a timely fashion and that you're all cleared and ready to go and all those other things, there's lots of other little deadlines that will come up. So here to talk about one of those will be Mr. Kevin Blazek from the business office, who will just be here to talk a little bit about financial clearance and all those sorts of things. So.
Good afternoon, graduating students. I will be very brief. My part today is to talk about your student accounts. There is a graduation fee that has been charged to your account. That graduation fee covers the following costs: the cap and gown rental, diplomas and covers, mailing costs, and other costs of commencement. The seminary also has a financial clearance deadline that Vince mentioned, which is when all seminary financial obligations must be satisfied in order to walk at graduation. The deadline this year is no later than 4 p.m. on Friday, April 14th. These obligations include all charges which may incur before the date of graduation, which includes, if you're in one of the apartments, your May rent. In addition, the seminary's policy states that if you have a balance on your student account, we are unable to provide you with your diploma, any transcript, and not able to confer that you actually have received a degree from your evangelical. If you have any questions concerning your individual account, come see me in the business office. I'm there from 8:30 to 4:30 every day. Thank you.
Thanks, Kevin. So in addition to the Garrett financial information, many of you over the years have probably interacted with Mr. Jason Gill in the financial aid office, and I know he's got some important information to share with you in regards to federal loans and other things.
Good afternoon and congratulations again. I want to first say leaving an institution can be very stressful when you have student loans that you know may go into repayment. I don't want to sound like a downer, because one of the things we'll do is we're going to hold your hand to make sure you feel supported as you make this transition, okay? One of these steps is going to be federally mandated. You're going to have to go, if you've borrowed from the federal government, so you've got a Stafford or a Grad Plus, I don't think anyone had any Perkins loans anymore, you're going to have to go to nslds.ed.gov, and this will be on the graduation website soon, but nslds.ed.gov, this is where you sign the NPN document, right? This is where you did your entrance counseling that was required. You'll also have to go back there and do an exit counseling. That exit counseling will have some of the information that was in entrance counseling. It'll also talk about repayment plans, right? You're all on a standard repayment plan right now, and you have options to go on income-based repayment plans. This is very popular for some students who may have a larger amount of debt and may have a modest income, all right? And there'll be information in that exit counseling that helps you understand, you know, what that may look like. 2, there'll be in April 3 dates I'll be putting up that you'll have to be here in person or give me, you know, some sort of good reason why you couldn't make it and we'd have to do it on the phone. A game of loans exit counseling, all right? Yes, yes, yes. I have themes and puns too. Okay, look out. That exit counseling will be both a reinforcement of the online process, but we'll also talk about specifically some of the more gritty realities, some of the other details that maybe the federal exit counseling doesn't talk about, okay? And we'll go over all of those together. And again, it'll be a time for you, if you need specific questions answered about this process, which can be very stressful, can be very important to your lives, to make sure that you have all the questions you need answered. The further thing is, your exit to the institution, you still have a retainer of someone in financial aid that you can call, right? So a year down the road, 2 years down the road, you still have a question about financial aid, my office, you give me a call, you'll still be able to be serviced, okay? We're gonna make sure that you're taken care of. 3, one more thing. In connection with Kevin's question about you've got to make sure your account balance is covered by the time of April 14th, some of you may still want to use loans to cover that balance. If you want loans to cover the balance in April 14th, and you're eligible for student loans, you'll need to contact me no later than April 10th, that first day of that week, so that I have enough time to make sure the loan has been processed, posted to your account, so that we can make sure it's taken care of. All right? And the other questions will go into detail when I see you at Exit Council.
Thanks so much, Jason. Well, we are hoping that once you graduate, that won't be the end of your relationship to us. There are many ways in which we want to keep contact with you, that we want to make resources still available to you. And so one person here to talk to you is Mary Carroll from the library, who wants to talk a little bit about your library resources.
On behalf of the United Library, I offer my congratulations to all of you. I know you're never going to get tired of hearing that, so we'll just keep saying it. I have a handout, which is also on the website, and I'll just put it up here if you want to take a look at it. You need to have all of your books and fines turned in by May 10th, the Monday before graduation. Or no, May 8th, the Monday before graduation, whatever day that is. Your account will expire on May 31st. Your borrowing account and also your paper cut account. If you have money left over on your paper cut account, we will refund it to you, but you have to come into the library and ask for that. And then we will take the little microchip off of your card and we will disable your paper cut account. So don't think that it's like an ATM where you can just take the money out, put the money back on. One time, we'll give the money back and then that's it. If you're going to stay for another degree or you're going to be living in the area, you can keep it active if you think you'll be over to the library to make copies and prints. Just let me know. If you don't take the money back, we usually transfer the money over to your class gift. So you can get an alumni borrowing card. Thank you very much. Go to, yes, Alums and Friends and Alumni Resources. And then scroll down. You get a borrowing card, which allows you to borrow resources from the United Library, not the Northwestern Libraries, unfortunately. And it also, you get access to Atlas serials for alums. You'll need to fill out an online form there under Garrett Evangelical, which will go to the alumni office, and then April will send you the username and password, the super secret username and password. So really that's about it that we have. So your graduation doesn't end your connection with the library. So we're part of you forever. And if you don't know how to access your online account, shame on you. That's also on the library website. You need your username and your net ID and password to log in there. So, thank you.
Thank you, Mary Carroll. And in light of trying to maintain contact with you, we hope that Garrett Evangelical will remain a part of your life going forward. And so the other Reverend McLaughlin Eller is now here to talk to you about that continuing relationship with Garrett Evangelical.
I'm pretty sure he's the other McLaughlin Eller. Spouse jokes. Congratulations! It's the first time you've heard it today. Congratulations! We're so excited for you in your upcoming graduation. Pray God's blessing upon all those papers, all the financial commitments, all of the things that must be done between now and May 8th, 10th, what all those days. God bless you in that. Garrett Evangelical would like to keep in touch with you beyond your time. We claim you very proudly. When you are out there in the world, changing the world, working in local churches, being an educator, changing communities in your nonprofit work, we are like, you are our people. We are so grateful for the ministry that you're going to be a part of. And we hope that Garrett Evangelical has been part of what's made you you in your ministry. And so, yes, if you want that super secret alumni password for ATLA, you just fill out that form. We'll send it to you. We make sure that you actually graduated and make sure you're an alum. But otherwise, and you can do that at any time. So chances are you're going to totally forget. And at some point, you're going to be like, I seem to recall someday somebody said I could do that. Just go to the website, fill out the form, and even if it's 10 years from now, assuming the internet still exists and all that stuff, I'm not technological, but assuming all of that still exists, we will get that information to you. Class photo. So on the day, that Wednesday, May 10th, when you are going to have your graduation rehearsal, you're going to have your lunch at noon over at Alice Millar Chapel that Dr. Rector talked about. And then you're going to come over to First UMC and you're going to do your rehearsal on how to, be very proper as you walk down the aisle and how to scooch over for the people who are in the other degree, all that fun stuff you're going to learn. You're also going to pick up your cap and gown that day, but you're also going to get your class photo taken. So we want you to look nice. You're going to be tired after having completed all your stuff, but just don't come in your sweatpants, like in your shirt that's still got pizza stains. Freshen up, come on over, and we'll take your picture. If you'd like a copy of that picture, we will give you an archival 8x10, I think so, print of that from our photographer, and it's a $10 charge, and we send that to you. So please feel free to just contact me if you want a copy of that class photo. And then the moment you've all been waiting for, the class gift. So I've heard from a number of people about some suggestions. I'm going to bring up the 3 that are viable options for your class for this time. For those whose item is not going to be lifted up, I will be contacting you directly to let you know the reasoning behind that. There are a couple that, when I talk to Buildings and Grounds or other people who would have the ability to say, oh yes, we can do that, or no, we cannot. For some reasons, we got the, that's just not a feasible thing that we can do. So I'm sorry, and I will be letting you know that directly. But there were 3 viable options in terms of your class gift. I will tell you about them right now, and then we will send out a survey, I'm hoping tomorrow, if not Monday, that will give you an opportunity to say, this is the one I want, and I'm hoping, because I'm not technological, and I hope my student worker knows how to do this, we can give you a chance to rank them and say, I really want number 1, this is my number 1, 2, and 3. That way we can get a better sense of what you actually want as a class. And knowing, this is an opportunity for you to leave somewhat of a legacy for this place. This is your chance to be a philanthropist for your seminary. And we hope that this will be the first gift, but we hope that you will continue to give a gift to the seminary every year. One of the things you should know is that, see, I'm keeping you in suspense. You really want to know what the class gifts are. Garrett Evangelical actually has the highest participation rate of alumni for theological schools in the nation. What that should tell you is that alumni who graduate from Garrett Evangelical feel pretty good about their Garrett Evangelical experience. They feel good about the education that they received here. And it's actually really important for funders out there in the world to hear that our alumni really support our work. So we're very proud of our number 1 status, and you will help us by giving your gifts every year. And we know you don't have a lot of money, right? Like, we know you're not like, I can write you a $1,000 check today. We don't expect that, but we hope that you will consider a gift every year, because we actually have to give those numbers every year to tell them our alumni still support. All right. Drum roll. One hand, that doesn't work. Thank you. So here are the 3 options that we have. 1 is a scholarship. We heard from a variety of different things, what people are interested in the scholarship being for. It might be for, one suggestion was for field ed sites that are really amazing sites but can't afford a student. That might give a really good educational experience. One is for a scholarship specifically geared toward the LGBTQ community, as that is a commitment that Garrett Evangelical has taken in the last few years. And then one was a generalized scholarship, and then there was one that suggested need-based, but Garrett Evangelical can't do need-based scholarships. So I'm sorry, we can't do that piece. So you're gonna, if you want to vote for a scholarship, you would vote for this scholarship, and then we'll determine criteria after we're sure the scholarship is the #1 choice. Second one is for some library upgrades. And I actually had a couple of people contact me about this, and so we're going to kind of mush those together to form one piece. And Mary Carroll's thrilled about this because 2 years ago the class gift was library upgrades. Library's like, I think they're probably like this one. And this was better taken care of. So some of the pieces of that renovation would be a new study table with electrical outlets so that people could actually plug in while they're doing their homework, charging stations for people also, so you're not like looking for that plug in that random place. Charging cables to be able to loan out, so when you've forgotten your Mac plug-in and different things, that they can have those so that you can check them out. Also funds to purchase library resources like some of the databases and some books and things like that. So those are some of the ideas, those tables with the wiggly legs, trying to get rid of some of those. Y'all laugh because you're like, oh, I know that table. I sat at that table. All right, so that's the second gift option. The third gift option is actually to work with Dr. Eberhardt on creating a community garden in the 5th Ward of Evanston. That one is going to take a little bit of work to figure out, because I think we have to figure out the details of where would that be? Do we have to buy land? All of those pieces. But there's a group of people who are working on that plan. So these are the 3 options: scholarship, library upgrades, and a community garden. We have typically asked for students to raise $10,000 for this class gift. Again, that seems like a lot of money to people who are like, I don't know if I can get my loans to the end of the semester. We make this very easy for you to give. First, we try to divide the number of graduates by the class gift by the graduates. I'm also not great at math. And it usually comes out to about $150 a person, sometimes less. That would cover the $10,000. So if every person who graduated gave the $150, you'd meet your class gift goal. Now, the way we have done that to make it really easy for you in a few ways are, the $12 a month gift. $12 a month, one dinner out at the fancy restaurant. You've got it covered, right? If you do that, and you can sign up for a monthly gift, and then in your year, you've got it covered. Second is, if you live in community housing, in the seminary housing, you have a housing deposit. Do you remember putting a housing deposit down 3 years ago? You don't remember that money exists. We will take that money from you. Thank you very much. It's an easy way. It's an easy way to give back, because you can just give us. You sign a paper that says you want to give all or portion of that. It's usually like $300. I think is the amount that you put down. That you can say, I want $150 of that after I've gotten out of housing to go to my class gift. It's a really easy way. It's like money that doesn't really exist at this point. And another thing is to say, I'm going to make a pledge. I'm going to give $50 this year and $50 for 3 years so that I can give the $150 to my class. So you make that pledge, and then once a year we'll remind you, like, hey, remember you made that pledge? Did you give us that $50? So these are easy ways for you to give. And there are going to be some people in your class who aren't going to give. That's just the reality. We hope that you will all participate, but everybody may not. So you might be a person who says, you know what, actually, I did end up with a little more money in my account. You can also transfer directly from your student account so that you don't have to actually figure out a check or go online. You can just give directly from your student account, but you might be able to say, like, I could do $300. So you could give a $300 gift, and that would cover you and some classmate who isn't going to give. So we try to make it very easy for you. If you have questions about any of these gift ideas, you're welcome to talk to me. I will also put out the names of the people who suggested these after we get some of the votes so that you can talk to folks. Now, if you're one of the people who suggested one of these, you want to talk to your people. You want to talk to your classmates and tell them why this is very important to you. And so, if you are one of those people who are one of these areas, talk to your peers, encourage them to choose your thing, right? Because the more people who are excited about it, the better the participation is going to be. I think that's all. I'm going to give you, like I said, I'm going to send out a survey so that you can all look and decide what you want in terms of your class gift. And then we'll give you a week to do that. And then I will follow up. If it's close, we may have to take it down to 2. And then we have to figure out any of the logistical pieces. And then we'll work with the person or persons who suggested the gift to work with them to help promote the class gift and the giving, actually. So we'll follow up with you after that. Do you have any questions for me? Yes.
For the photo, is there going to be a digital copy of it? So if you don't want to print a version, but just.
I think we can give you a digital copy. Shane, am I right about that?
Sure. So what we've done in the past is we'll always post a photograph on Facebook, and I always laugh this the class will basically print that out right off of Facebook. Really cool. Don't have a problem with that at all. If you're wanting the original though, I'll have to be careful about that because there is some licensing fee that goes back to the photographer. That I have to be careful about that. So, but we'll figure those logistics out.
For those of you watching at home, what Shane just said is that you can rip the Facebook picture that he's going to post. Or I should say, he said some people rip the Facebook picture once he posts that online.
Those aren't always the highest quality.
They're not the highest quality, but you can still make it as your photo across. What do you call that thing? Cover photo. Not technological. And then otherwise, there's some licensing fees that go with that, so we may have to get you a digital copy of your picture, but we have to be very careful. But we might still charge you $10. So there you go. Other questions? All right, thank you so much. I look forward to you joining the alumni of Garrett Evangelical. There are a number of us who are on staff. Let's see, alumni. Oh man, there's a lot. Krista, raise your hand. You're one. So actually, you may actually get a job here. If you just hang around long enough. We'll just hire you on. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, well, now we're going to get down to a little bit of the nuts and bolts. You've heard a little bit about upcoming deadlines, about commencement. One of the really important parts of commencement is getting to dress up in all the robes and pretend that you are going to Hogwarts. So, to that end, Ms. Tina Shelton is here to say just a little bit about the cap and gown ordering and some of the other possibilities available there.
Thank you, Ben. So, like everyone else, I want to say congratulations to getting to this point, and perhaps one of the most exciting parts of the graduation day is when you are in the dining hall and you're getting robed and you're running around and giving hugs and taking pictures. So it's a really fun time. The making the order to get your caps and gowns, that's not so fun. But I just want you to remember a couple of things. One, the website, in order to order your caps and gowns, it closes on March 28th at midnight. So March 28th at midnight, the site shuts down and you will not be able to order your cap and gown. We will send out reminders. We also order extras, but we don't really know your size. So whatever we order is what you have to choose from. So make sure that you're on top of things with that. In order to access the site, then I think Vince is going to go through that, but you sign on to my g-ets, and then you go to your student tab, you click on graduation, and then you go to graduation attire and announcements. There is no charge, I think it's been said before, for your caps and gowns because it's already in your fees, your graduation fee.
But if you order accessories or your souvenir tassel or announcements, which you can get from the site, or even a custom frame, then that's gonna cost money, and that's separate. We do suggest that if you decide to order extras, then you order your cap and gown, go through all of that, and then go back and order the accessories, okay? So what's gonna happen is when you order your cap and gown, they're gonna say, where do you want it sent? It's gonna come to Gary Evangelical. So the address, it should autofill 2121 Sheridan Road, okay? If you're ordering extras, then you wanna put your own address there because you want it to come to your house, okay? Let's see. I think we're almost done. If you're a doctoral student, I think we have one or two here, and you'd like to purchase your robe, remember to order very early. It takes up to 6 weeks for this to be made, and the cost is almost $800. So, yeah, be aware. Or if you plan on becoming a doctoral student, be aware of what it will cost. You can start saving now. Yes.
Is there an option to order a hood to buy?
I don't
We can, so the question is there an option to order a hood to buy? If you would like to purchase your own hoods, the hoods that we have are actually owned by the seminary. So it's kind of like that long tradition of witnesses that come before you and all that good stuff. But if you would like to own your own, we can put you in touch with our vendor. So we have a contact that we can put you in touch with so that you could purchase your own. I don't know off the top of my head what the cost of that is, but I do know we have had a few students over the years do that.
One more thing and then I'll get to you, as doctoral students can rent their gowns if they'd like to do that instead, okay? Yes.
So I'm dual degree. Is there a way that I can avoid paying for graduation twice?
Graduating once is the short answer. Yeah.
Okay. Anyone else? All right.
All right, well, thank you. I'm just going to highlight one or two more things here for you. So with our upcoming dates, just to make sure you're aware, so there is a list of all the things that are going on commencement week. So on Wednesday, as we've already discussed, there will be the President's Luncheon. I had TBA here because I didn't know for sure if we finalized everything, but they said this morning that will be at Alice Millar Chapel in Park Hall. Then commencement rehearsal and class pictures and everything will take place right after that at First United Methodist Church. So we'll actually be at the church for rehearsal. And then we'll do cap and gown and hood pickup there in the dining hall at the church immediately following the commencement rehearsal. And so we'll start distributing those as soon as we're done with rehearsal and class pictures for those that want to go ahead and get going. For those that might be skipping rehearsal for some reason and just trying to show up, we're only going to have a really short window there, but otherwise we will be available with whatever isn't picked up on Wednesday, we'll have back here in the office for you on Thursday or Thursday. And then senior chapel rehearsal will be right after for those that are participants in senior chapel. So only those that are participating in senior chapel would need to be there for the rehearsal. And then Thursday, again, we'll have the cap and gown pickup here in the registrar's office. And then senior chapel will be here on campus in the Chapel of the Unnamed Faithful. It's a good opportunity to be here to celebrate with your family, have one final worship service here in the chapel to be a part of that. And then the all-important Friday morning. So we asked for you to arrive at the church between 8:45 and 9. I know that seems really early, but there are a lot of you that we have to try and wrangle and get lined up, dressed, everything else that morning. And so it's really good for you to be here a little early so that we can make sure everyone is here and present. Nobody's missing. We can try and follow up with anyone who's missing. We can make sure that your cap and gown fits, that if there's anything that wound up being out of place or broken or anything like that, we can help make adjustments that morning. So it's really important to be there no later than 9 on the morning of commencement. We'll start lining up probably about 9:30 so that we can get ready for the procession. Will begin promptly at 10. So if you wind up showing up late, there's always the chance. If we've already started processing, it's going to be difficult sometimes to get you in. So please, please, please be on time. I do remember a couple of years ago, we had someone come rushing, flying in as the procession had already started. Thankfully, her place in line had not actually entered the sanctuary yet, so we were able to get her in, but hoping that we won't have that happen again, because that's really stressful, because that has all those implications for what goes on in the rest of the service. So please, please, I'm going to stress a number of times, please, please be on time on the morning of commencement. For those of you that were 100% clear and everything on commencement day, we are going to give you your diploma immediately after the service. So when you come back to drop off your cap and gown, we will give you your nice piece of paper to fit in that nice empty diploma folder that you're going to get during the commencement service. So just a little hook to make sure we get all those caps and gowns back from you on the day of graduation. Is knowing that we'll be able to get you your diploma, assuming everything is cleared up at that point. All right, let's see. Are there any questions? Yes?
What time is the church open and available for family to be there? If we have to be there that early, what time is the church?
I believe we've typically opened about 8:30 is about usually how early. Most of us who are helping to coordinate all this stuff get there. So the church is usually open by about 8:30 that morning so that people can get in and begin, getting dressed, finding seats, all those sorts of things. One thing we didn't mention, there are no tickets for graduation. I've had a couple of people send me emails. It's just y'all come. So far, we have not, as far as I know, ever completely filled the sanctuary so that people couldn't get in. So invite your family, your friends, your neighbors. Don't bring your pets, unless they're quiet. If they're quiet, you can bring them. So, your gowns are going to have these really cool pockets. So maybe if you got one of those little chihuahuas or something, you can fit it in there. All right. Other questions? Yes.
Would someone be able to make a diagram of entrances, like we have family members who are handicapped, or they have to go upstairs? So we'll be able to direct them beforehand.
Yes. Okay. So the question was about diagrams of the space and accessible entrances. I will say that I know that there's only one accessible entrance that I'm aware of. That's on the Church Street side of the church. So it's directly across the street from the parking deck. So that is an accessible entrance. There's also a little pull-off there for people to be able to pull off and drop people off to get in that entrance. And then there are spaces designated for handicap access within the sanctuary, so for seating and things like that. But we'll try and make sure that we share that information out to you so that you have that. Any other questions? And yes, there is an elevator to access the balcony as well if people want to be able to sit in the balcony. Any other questions? All right. Any questions out there in the internet? Interwebs, do you have any questions for me? Yes.
What about concentrations? Are those acknowledged at graduation?
Okay, so the question was asked if we acknowledge concentrations at graduation. We have not done that in the past. The concentration is listed on a transcript if you have done a field concentration within the MDiv program, but it's not reflected otherwise in any of the other materials.
Can you talk about the exit interviews and the ATS interviews?
Oh, yes. For those of you that are here today, if you brought your exit questionnaires and completed your ATS graduating student questionnaire, please see Tina before you leave today so that we can make sure that we keep track of who's done that and who hasn't, so that we don't keep bugging those of you that are done. For those of you that aren't done, we're going to keep bugging you until you're done. So please complete those questionnaires and get those to us. Those are really important for us as we're assessing the institution, the support we're offering you, and the programs that we're offering. We really do review all that information every year with the faculty, and it's important for helping us know how we're doing and what we can do better. So please fill out that information. And just a reminder, the ATS survey does ask for your name online. However, that's merely used for tracking purposes. So I get a little report that says person of this name completed the survey, person of this name. I don't actually have access to your answers linked to your name. So just so you know, it is anonymous once you submit, but the name is merely used to help us track who's done it and who hasn't. So just so you're aware of that, I know that some people have that question every year, so I just want to reassure you that's not being used to link the answers to your name. That's merely being used so we can keep track of who's done. Any other questions? I think Shane had something that he wanted to share with you before you leave today.
T-shirt candidate and shoot T-shirts at you all. I'm a lifelong journalist communication person. So here is the thing. I get the pleasure and the fun job out of this, and that is that Ray Carroll, please be our model over here and maybe hold up one of those. Everyone gets a T-shirt today, free to you. Enjoy. Woo! Way to go, class 2017. I have one request though. I need your signature for you to print your name, saying that you picked up your T-shirt. Why? Because I'll have to track down anybody who didn't get one. So just give me a signature and a print name, what have you. Be aware now, there are no smalls. Why, you might ask? Because last year when we ordered smalls, no one took them because they were so small that I'm not sure my 9-year-old should have worn that shirt. So we learned our lesson that way and ended up like just going with mediums across the board. And so there's mediums and there is up to 3XL. And so hopefully we'll get sizes. It's kind of a hit or miss. We'll see how this plays out every year. So congratulations. Congrats.
All right, so I'll just highlight one more thing before everybody gets out of here. So this is just some more information that's available for you to think about as you get ready for commencement. So on the graduation attire page, all the way at the bottom, at Garrett Evangelical, we kind of have a tradition of the red shoes. It's kind of a tradition honoring women in theology and those that often have been excluded. So one of our grads in 2010, she wrote a nice blog post kind of explaining the history and tradition there. So I encourage you to feel free to read that and see if that's a tradition that you would also like to participate in. Traditionally, this was started with the women faculty, and then it sort of migrated to the women students, and now both women and men have been participating in this tradition over the last several years. So I encourage you to look that up in the information that's available there. Otherwise, I'll say it one more time today. Congratulations to all of you. Thank you for your time today and for coming out. And if you have any questions, please feel free to get in touch with us. I will be sending this information out, the links to you, in the next day or two as I make sure that all of our web pages are up to date. And I'll also be getting a copy of this video posted for those that may have missed it and would like to hear this info. Thank you all.